Hi everybody. Today's episode of Comical Comments revolves around the iron versus the blue. What I'm talking about is, what if Civil War did not end, but it continued on a whole nother level, where two men's egos pretty much doom all of humanity. Also, there's scrolls. That was just thrown in for some reason. I don't know where there are scrolls. Please enjoy the iron versus the blue. What if Civil War never ended? In this story, the Stanford incident leads to a polarizing political debate that culminates with the two sides clashing in a negative zone prison. During the fight, Black Panther hacks into the prison's computers and sees that a portal will explode, killing most of the combatants and stranding the rest. Black Panther assumes that Stark will teleport his combatants out as a last minute. But meanwhile, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Maria Hill tells Stark that Black Panther activated the explosives on orders of Steve Rogers, deactivating the teleportation device. Black Panther tries to shut down the bomb. Anyone in the prison rushes to escape, though the power of the hero Cloak, who drops them all in midair over St. Louis, unfortunately Cloak does not shut off his powers fast enough to block out the explosion, and resulting beam of explosive energy creates a vast chasm called the Divide, destroying St. Louis and leaving millions dead. The two sides regroup, with the pro-registration group taking control of the land to the east of St. Louis, while the anti-registration group takes control of the land to the west. Each side blames the other for the deaths. The east becomes the Iron, run by Tony Stark, and the west became the Blue, run by Captain America. Differences in politics have caused people to pick one side over the other, with the split intensifying every year. The only place in the country that embraces both is a community in the ruins of St. Louis, built on a bridge over the chasm between the two sides. One of the inhabitants is Miriam Sharp, a woman who lost her child at Stanford, but who wants to bring peace. 6 years after the start of the conflict, Sharp begins the two leaders together and discuss peace. At the meeting, Miriam is able to get the two men to open up. Stark explains that the Iron has wealth resources from the trade with the outside world, where the Blue is regarded as a rogue state. However, his citizens are running out of space, while the Blue has twice the space but half the population. He poses that the Blue shrink, giving his people more space in exchange, for which Tony will make trade concessions. General Rogers dismisses the offer, which leads to the start of an old debate between the two men. As Miriam Sharp tries to intervene, she is shot in the back by a sniper. Reacting first, General Rogers calls Peter Parker to catch the shooter. Parker finds a remote-controlled sniper rifle. As Miriam dies, General Rogers realizes that from the angle of the shot, that the shooter was most likely aiming at him. President Stark denies the shooter is one of his, but the renewed civil war seems inevitable. President Stark sends a drone to track the killers, but is shot down. Its data core claimed by the Blue. President Stark discovers certain anomalies regarding past events, leading him to believe that the events like Sharp's murder are caused by a third party. Meanwhile, Hank McCoy shows Rogers the results of Project Bellicurve, a procedure capable of depowering superhumans. Numerous resources from the Iron are needed to continue the project, for which Steve sends a team comprised of Parker, Elektra, Azari, Venom, Clint Barton to infiltrate Stark's territory. At the same time, Stark sends Jennifer Walters to infiltrate the Blue and continue investigating Sharp's murder. Spider-Man's team suffers the first casualty when Stark's Sentinel kills Elektra. The team manages to overcome the rest of the defenses, including a reanimated corpse of the Kingpin controlled by Dr. Octopus's tentacles. Thanks to Venom and the return of the Blue, with the components needed for Project Bellicurve at the same time, She-Hulk had been there to infiltrate Steel Town. However, Agent Robbie Baldwin of the Punishers recognizes her and follows She-Hulk. That discovers the assassin was Bullseye. Baldwin attacks Jen as she's spying on Bullseye. and is forced to flee. Before she can leave Steel Town, she is knocked out by an unidentified attacker. She-Hulk awakes in an undisclosed location, having been captured by Bullseye's client, Black Panther. As the Blue prepare to invade the Iron in a last-ditch effort to attempt to ending the war, Iron Man tracks down Jen's position and flies to rescue her. He finds her, but his armor is neutralized and stripped from him. Tony is brought to Black Panther, who reveals himself as the Skrull Queen. I can't pronounce her name. Her name is very hard to pronounce. Tells him that she is the cause of every failed attempt at reaching peace in the plan to benefit from the never-ending war. Iron Man uses additional weaponry that is not in his armor to free himself, fend off the Skrull guards, and break She-Hulk from her cage. Meanwhile, the Blue invade the Iron while General America prepares to detonate a bomb derived from Project Velcurve. Jesus. As the conflict escalates, Iron Man is able to reach General America and reveals that Bucky is a Skrull, prompting General America to accept a telepathic update from Emma Frost that confirms that the Skrulls have manipulated the conflict for years. Accepting their mutual responsibility for the situation, Rogers and Stark sacrifice themselves to detonate the Velcurve bomb. The blast depowers superhumans and reverts the Skrulls to their true state. But a few months later, powerless Peter Parker and Jennifer are discussing the tentative truce that has been formed between the two sides, and wonder whether Stark and Rogers knew that peace would be the result of their sacrifice. The most notable casualty in the mainline Civil War crossover was Bill Foster, a scientist who was a C-list superhero under the name Black Goliath and Giant Man. He was killed by a clone of Thor. In Civil War, there was no surrender. Instead, the big final battle that started in another dimension broke into Earth, killing Daredevil, Wasp, Black Panther, and 15 million ordinary human beings. The disaster split this alt-America down the middle, creating two nations, where only one stood before. Well, boys and girls, that was What If Civil War Ended, the Iron versus the Blue. And, well, not exactly sure how I feel about it. It's not the best what if story, because there are a lot of other good ones, but it is what it is. And there are what if Iron Man died at the end of the Civil War. There is those stories, but I just want to talk about this one because it's really, really good. It's good so far, but it's not the best. As you can tell, I didn't have this video planned out. I have House of M planned out. House of M is already planned out. Someone asked for this, and I just wanted to get it done and, put it out there for those people. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and then let me know what comic books you want me to cover in future episodes. Later.